Hello. So, I keep trying to make this video and I keep interrupting and I get distracted because squirrel. So I made a short video yesterday, or I posted a short video yesterday about my sobriety. And, I appreciate, you who liked my video, and I appreciate, the ones who commented, and I'm not gonna lie, I cried. So I say a lot. I'm sorry. Not sorry. So I started this YouTube video, or this YouTube channel, to help my friends and family to keep up with my journeys, my little adventures. I'm a full-time nomad. I've been doing it for almost 2 years now. And 2 years doesn't seem like a long time, but when you're in the nomad community, 2 years is a lot. It's kind of a trial by fire. You learn very quickly whether you can make it or not, because this lifestyle is not for everyone. It's got its hardships, but that's what I get to see out my front or my back window every morning when I wake up. And as I travel, the view changes to whatever I want it to be. So I've got a pretty good life, and I'm here with my dog, Bella. She's 14 this fall. So with any person's story, there's a lot more to the story than anyone could ever say in their lifetime. But this will be a longer story than my previous video. And so I hope you guys get something out of it. Because my story is not to be kept secret. I mean, if somebody can get something out of it, then it was worth sharing. So, again, I come from a long line of addicts and alcoholics. Some of us have our shit together, or more functional than others. So, I never really liked drinking. Although drinking is kind of the drug of choice for most of my mom's side of the family. My dad's kind of different, but that's for another really long video. I just never liked the way it made me feel. I suffer from fibromyalgia, so I'm tired all the time, and so I never liked the way downers made me feel. Although I do like not being in pain, but I just never liked the sleepiness effect because I'm tired all the time. Who wants to be fucking tired even more? So, my drug of choice is uppers. And even now, I'm wiping away fucking drool thinking about it. My drug of choice is meth. I did cocaine once, but that was a disappointment. But I like my uppers. I like to feel like I'm awake and I have energy, and those of us who've done uppers, you know. If you know, you know. So anyways, I dabbled briefly in meth when I was a teenager because my mom was doing it. And I'm like, what's this? Oh. But I just kind of fell out of it. And then, so I got my heart broke. I fell in love with someone, and although he had strong feelings for me, in the process of me moving closer to him, he got somebody pregnant. Yeah. And so he fell in love with her, and now they're married. Does it still hurt? Yeah. Oh my God, how old is she? I think 7 or 8, something like that. Anyways, he's my best friend. He will always be my best friend. He knows way too much about me, and I know way too much about him, probably more than his wife does. I don't get into that. Because I ain't no motherfucking snitch either. You know what I mean? So, I still love him. And I will probably still always love him. But I love him so much that if his happiness, which he deserves happiness, 100%, he's just that kind of person. If that means being happy with somebody else, I'm okay with that. And it took me a while to be okay with that. And I'm gonna cry. But, you know, when you love someone, you want them happy. And you want to see them flourish. And you want them to be the best that they can be through happiness. So, anyways, I thought that would be an important point of the story, and I thought I'd cry, and I didn't want to, but fuck it. So anyways, I turned to drugs because my heart was broken. So and I hit it hard. I don't think I came down for over a year. I don't think I came down once. I was constantly high for a year. I used to black out driving. I was so fucking high. As a matter of fact, one of the many times I was high, which I never was not high for at least a year, I committed a crime. And I was so high that even to this day, my memory remembers this short, fat, black cop arresting me. And later on, after I got out of jail, I ran into the cop who actually arrested me, and he was not black. He was very white. Very, very white. He wasn't fat either. He was just big-boned, you know. But I looked at him and I said, "You look different than what I remember you." But he said something along the lines, and this has been a long time ago, or a while ago, but he said something along the lines of, "You were high," and I'm like, "Well, yeah." And he said, "You were the highest person I've ever seen, but you were just so chill about it." I'm like, "Yeah, that's what I did." So anyways, take those glasses off. I was high. Like I said, I used to black out while driving all the time. One time, I was driving, and I blacked out, drove across. I was going down this way, so I drove across oncoming traffic, hit a curb, flew through the air, through some bushes, and landed in a Wendy's parking lot. Yeah. So, I don't remember blacking out from the moment I blacked out. I mean, I don't remember anything from the moment I blacked out until I hit the curb. So, when I hit the curb, I remember hitting the curb. So, When I tell you I was high, I was high. I should have been dead many, many, many times. So, I put $100 in my arm in less than 8 hours. I was an IV user. When you IV, game changer, and not for the good. So I did all kinds of shit while I was high. I couldn't get sex enough. So yeah. So anyways, I became homeless because my landlord, my landlord was kind of a slumlord. He's kind of a dirty guy, which doesn't excuse what I did. Let's be clear here. But we had been bickering back and forth about some shit, and it doesn't even matter what the fuck it was. But I lost my cool, and I drove my car into his house. I didn't get very far in. I was driving on a donut, and he had a really short driveway, but I did what I did. So I didn't have a home after that because he just went in and, well, he let the local crackheads take what they wanted, and then they destroyed the rest. So it was just what was the clothes on my back and my identification. Some of them, not all of them. I had my driver's license, but I had to replace my social security card. I had to replace my birth certificate. I mean, he trashed everything. It's just what happens. So I spent some time in jail. And then my little brother bailed me out, which I could never repay. I mean, I paid him the money back, but, you know, I'm going to start crying again. Try not to cry. Anyways, so, I was going off my meds because, when I was in jail, I was going through withdrawals off of my meds because, they wouldn't give me my meds in jail. I had a friend of mine drop them off, but the nurse practitioner there's never really a doctor in jail. Jails don't pay for doctors. They're cheap. But the nurse practitioner said, I'm not giving that shit to her. So I was going through withdrawals off my meds. And one of them was Lyrica, which was for my fibromyalgia. And two things. One, I had explosive fucking diarrhea off of Lyrica. And two, I felt like my skin was being peeled off of me. It was very painful. So, and they wouldn't even give me Tylenol or ibuprofen. I just, nothing, you know. So, anyways, I called him. I said, I'm hurting. And, everybody told him, no, don't do it. Don't bail Sarah out. She's not going to learn. And he said he could not sleep at night, knowing that I was in pain, in physical pain. And so he bailed me out. So at that time, I was on probation for threatening to shank a guy. And so they had, I had been bailed out. I'd been released before they issued a probation violation. And so when I went to I got out and I was crashing on a friend's not even a love seat, it was a recliner. Um, I was crashed on there, and I went to my probation appointment meeting, and there was a sheriff waiting for me. I'm like, fuck. So I don't even think I was out of jail for a week. But they arrested me again for a probation violation. So they did give me most of my meds. They didn't give me the Lyrica, which at that point I didn't want to go through withdrawals again, so I didn't even start it up. I mean, that was just the most painful fucking thing ever. And so I was in there the second time a lot longer, but at least at that point they gave me Tylenol and ibuprofen and my meds. So, and so I was in there for, I want to say 27 days or something like that. 25. It was an odd number. In the 20s. It might have been 29 days. And so I finally, there was only one misdemeanor public defender because the probation violation was a misdemeanor. The driving into my landlord's house was a felony. So the probation violation was a misdemeanor, and there was only one public defender for the whole county, and she was busy. She was very, very busy, and so I never once talked to her until I want to say a couple days before I got released. And so she got me on the docket to see the judge, and they let me out on an OR. And I told one of the jailers, I'm like, I'm out, dude. And he's like, I don't want to ever see you again. I said, I don't want to see you either, motherfucker. And I started skipping down the fucking hall. Fuck you. And I did that. He was the one that actually treated us inmates like human beings. The rest of them didn't give a shit about us. We were just pieces of shit. And a lot of us are in our own right. And I was too at that time, but I was human. So I get out, homeless. I mean, I went to, I was crashing on the recliner for a little while, and then I went to another town where I was closer to family. And I was in a homeless shelter for a while, but then I left the homeless shelter because I'm not anybody's favorite. I've never been a favorite. I've never been able to play favorites. I can't. I don't know how to. I'm just who I am, you know. And so I left there, and I was underneath a bridge for a little while. And then I was staying with my mom, which she's a hot mess too, but that's not my story to tell. Okay. So, and my aunt made a comment, which is her sister. She said, I don't know what's worse for you, sleeping at your mom's place, staying with your mom, or sleeping underneath a bridge. That's how fucked up it was. So anyways, every day was a struggle. I mean, I was trying to stay sober, and those of us who've been off of drugs, the first little while it's hard. Your brain's all messed up. It's mush, and you can't think straight. You can't form a thought. I mean, just everything's a struggle. Your mood's just all over the place, just and everything fucking irritates you. And so, and I think I lasted 30 days at my mom's house, which is probably the. Anyway, so I called my grandparents on the other side of the state, and I said, please come pick me up. My grandparents, well, my grandfather's dead since then, but my grandparents have money, and they had a spare bedroom, and I knew they'd pick me up. I said, I can't do this. I said, if I stay here, I'm gonna relapse, and I'm eventually gonna die. And so back up a little bit. So to back up the story a little bit, I'd been off my psychiatric meds before I was in jail, and I was trying to get back on them. I was used to taking my meds at night, but when you don't sleep, because the tweaker day never ends, you forget to take your meds. So when I was sober when I was homeless, but I was having a hard time finding my meds because nobody wanted to prescribe them to me. And that's another story that doesn't matter. I know it doesn't make sense, but it's just more complicated than that. So anyways, one lady laughed at me and she says, "You're out of your fucking mind if you think I'm going to prescribe those." She laughed. So, my mood was all over the place. I mean, it was up, down, left, right, backwards, forwards, fucking everything. So, I came down to Southeast Kansas to get sober and hook up with mental health and try to get back on meds. So, there was on the other side of the state. I'm from Kansas. So anyways, I take a plea deal, and I got away like a bandit. I did. I really did. I was looking at an automatic 8 years of prison time. It really was. But I got a year's worth of probation, and I did not have to pay any court fines because I'm on disability. I'm poor. Right? I'm broke. But I did have to pay restitution, which was my landlord's copay for his insurance. So I did that. Got off of probation 5.5 months early. So everything I did was scrutinize. My probation officer went to the church I went to. One time I didn't go to church, and she grilled me. She said, "Where the fuck were you?" I said, "Well, shit, I had shit to do. I couldn't be in town." "Well, where? What were you doing?" What? I finally said, "Lady," I was going through the 12 steps of the AA program at the time. I was like, "Lady, I was doing my 10th step." She goes, "Oh, I'll allow it." I was making amends, okay? Chill the fuck out. I'm not one to immediately give up information when questioned by authority, okay? I mean, it took her convincing me why I should tell her where the fuck I was. But she grilled me. She grilled me for a good about 10 minutes. She's like, I can revoke your bond, your probation. I could just throw your ass in jail, right? I was like, yeah. So, yeah, I told her. I was just like, chill, I'm making amends. I didn't show up to church one time. I kept going after that. I made sure. So anyways, my sobriety date is February 25th of 2019. Yeah, so I got sober, did all the right things, and then some. Did what I was supposed to do, and then some. Finally, my probation officer says, "Sarah, I ain't got to worry about you. Just show up." Because then I got to tell, then it says on paperwork, you did what you did. I said, all right. I still showed up. I took a piss test one time with her. And she was cool as fuck. She's one of those people that if you did the right thing, she'd bend over backwards for you. But if you burned her, she wouldn't even piss on you if you were on fire. She might add some fucking gasoline, but that's it, So anyways, that's kind of my story in a nutshell. My nomadic journey. So, in middle school, 6th grade, I met this girl named Jen. And we had been best friends since fucking forever. And of course, we had a falling out because of my drug use. And which, rightfully so, right? Because don't ever fucking trust a tweaker. So getting sober, coming back together, and she was a single mom and had a kid, and her kid was just entering into high school, and she's like, she's already getting the whole, what the hell am I going to do when he's out of high school and whatever. And I said, well, why don't we just do a road trip? And so that's what we had planned on doing. It's like, once her kid got out of high school, we would just take one epic fucking road trip. Right. She can't drive, so I would drive. And so that's a whole nother story, and that's not necessarily my story to tell, all of it. So anyways, we had a falling out, and I almost gave up on the road trip idea. So, but I thought, you know what, let me just look into it. Let me see what I can do by myself. So I decided to do it by myself. I said, fuck it. So I came down to Quartzsite, Arizona, which is kind of the mecca of, it's like the Florida of the desert, People come down here, or at least in Arizona, for the winter. Everybody's kind of a misfit here. Nobody really belongs here, but they do belong here because this is the misfits of the desert. So, came down here for the RTR, through Cheap RV Living, Bob Wells. Yeah. And I fell in love with it. I fell in love with Quartzsite. I fell in love with the desert. And said, I'm doing it. So, I came back to Kansas, signed 1 more year lease, and I told my apartment manager, I said, this is it. This is my last lease. Probably forever. So, I had this pickup truck that my grandfather had given me, because at the time he was dying of cancer, and he's like, I don't fucking need it. And I needed a car because my car was totaled because I drove it into my landlord's house. And so he gave me this. He's like, I'm not going to need it. And so I put a topper on the back. I made a bed. Well, I didn't make the bed. I designed it. But my little brother, being the helpful person and sweet and kind and caring soul he is, he says, I want to help you and I want to build shit. So let's build shit. And I said, okay, this is what I want. And I'm drawing on pictures and shit. So we built my bed. And then I filled it up, and I don't have any heat back here. I don't have air conditioning. I don't have refrigeration. I have a tiny ass solar station that somebody gave me, a power station. Somebody gave me my first time on the road down here because they weren't using it. It's just about on its last leg. I'm making it work. And and I couldn't do this if I wasn't sober. So, again, I did not get sober on my own. Okay? During the height of my addiction, I couldn't stay sober for 30 fucking minutes. So, it was all God. It was all God. God. 100%. So, that's my sober journey in a nutshell. I travel the country, not all over the country, but so I've done Kansas, I've driven through Oklahoma, but nobody really wants to stay in Oklahoma. except for people who live in Oklahoma. I did Texas for a little while, and Texas isn't really my thing. I did stay a couple weeks on the Gulf of Mexico. Yes, I said the Gulf of Mexico. Let's just not go there, okay? Stayed there on the Gulf of Mexico for a couple weeks. That was cool, but water's really not my thing. I mean, it's pretty, and I like to drink it, but that's pretty much it. And everything, it was so humid, even in the dead of winter. Everything was sticky. It's just, everything was sticky. And I don't like that. I don't like the feeling of being bleh. So, I've done Texas and New Mexico, Arizona. I've been through California. I don't get excited about California. I mean, it's pretty, but then it's expensive, and I'm poor, so I'd like to stick to what I can afford first. But I've done Colorado. Gotta love me some mountains, because while the rest of you guys are sweating your asses off in the middle of August, I'm enjoying 75-degree weather with snow-capped mountains still in the middle of August. So, Bella and I do hiking. We've hiked small mountains. We haven't really gone up, extenuating hikes. We did go up a trail to a 14er. I mean, we only made it like 500 feet in elevation before my body was like, okay, we got to go back down, because I felt like I was on meth again, because my heart was beating like I wasn't, but that's how hard I was working. So yeah, we've got a great life. We really do. And it has challenges. I don't have a big rig. I live out of 27 square feet of living space. I don't take showers regularly. About twice a week, if not once, depending on where I'm at. I try to stick to about that schedule. I mean, there's challenges, and it's not easy, but I don't regret it at all. So, anyways, thank you if you stayed this long. I appreciate you. This may not reach as many of you. Doing these videos is kind of therapeutic for me. Getting a good therapist is on the road is damn near impossible. And sometimes there are many stretches, like you can have conversations with people, but you don't have deep conversations with people on the road. So that's very few and far between. And so I appreciate you guys letting me have this deep conversation with you, because sometimes I just need to like emotionally vomit. And I appreciate you letting me do that. So, comments if you want. If you want to tell me briefly about your story, I'll be more than happy to hear it or read it. Comment, likes. I mean, if you want to subscribe, that'd be great, because you guys are cheaper than therapy, and these videos are my therapy. Because let's be honest, we're all fucking mental here. We really are. Hope you guys have a great day, whatever it is to you. Bye.